Nintendo presents. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Hello and welcome to Hard Mode. Now, originally for Zelda games on a hard mode, I try to just play the whole game with only 3 stars, but that's kind of impossible to do with A Link to the Past. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the game getting as little items and upgrades as I can. So I'm not going to get the bottles, I'm not going to get the fairies, I'm not even going to get the boomerang. Screw the boomerang. Now only I remain. Aghanim has seized control of the castle and is now trying to open the 7 wise men's seal. I am the dungeon. Oh, I am the dungeon. I'm in the dungeon of the castle. Please help me. I don't know why I gave Zelda that voice. It's obviously Zelda. Yetsay, I'm going out for a while. I'll be back by morning. Don't leave the house. So I kind of had a headcanon. Like, if I was to make this into a movie, what would I do? So I think Link's uncle would be part of the royal guard. But he stayed home for whatever reason. And so since he wasn't at the castle, he wasn't there when Aghanim took control. So he's the only guard that is not under his influence. And that's why the other guards like swarmed and attacked him. Maybe. Once again, amazing music. I love this atmosphere. You know, just like the beginning of the game, and it's dark and it's raining and it's probably cold, and you're just like, I need to get somewhere. It kind of looks like Link is holding his hand up even though he's not holding anything. That's funny. So I'm just exploring the world a little bit. I haven't really like just ran around aimlessly since the first time I played this. I've gotten pretty disenchanted by this game because, help me, I'm in the dungeon of the castle. I know there is a hidden path from outside of the castle to the garden inside. Because I've played this so many times that I know like the optimal path to go and which direction's the best to get the fastest time. I think I beat the game in like 4 hours, and I was kind of honestly disappointed by that. Because this was a game that built my childhood. Like, I spent so much time playing this. Yetsay, I didn't want to involve you in this. I told you not to leave the house. Take my sword and shield and listen. You can focus my power in the blade. Then release it using the secret technique handed down by our people. Yetsay, you can do it. Save the princess. Zelda is your... I'm trying not to quote Egoraptor at the moment. If you don't know, go check out his video. He did like a little cartoon about what Zelda is to Link. 5 rupees. Honestly, I probably could have skipped this section since I'm doing like a... not a speed run, but just like a... how far can I get with the least amount of items? Yeah, I'm throwing bushes at you. I don't know why I'm doing this. See, it's just stuff like that. I love coming up with new ways to fight enemies. It's funny. I maybe have played a Super Nintendo 3 times in my life. Right. The first time was when I was really little. Like 10 years old little. And excuse me, I was over at my babysitter's house one time, and she had a Super Nintendo. And I saw that Star Fox was in it. Like, the original... well, of course you know, the original Star Fox. The only other Star Fox game I'd ever played was the Star Fox 64. So it was really interesting to go back and see what the first one looked like. So that was the first time. The second time, I didn't play it, but I saw a Super Nintendo at one of my mom's friend's house. And again, it's just like this mysterious hidden figure that I never got the chance to play, or like maybe played once before in my life. I don't know. And then the third time I was at this gaming store. This was like a couple weeks ago. And they had a little demo up there. It was Super Mario World, but I don't think it was the actual Super Mario World. I think it was a ROM hack. Oh, this area is interesting. Hold on. Excuse me. I'm dripping wine all over the place. So this area is interesting. One time, it only ever happened once. I was playing this on the Game Boy Advance, and I must have got hit by an enemy at like the very right spot that I just clipped through the boundary, and I was like below everything. I know some people can do this on purpose and use that to really glitch the game out, but I had no idea where I was or what I was doing, so I was pretty scared and reset it. And I was never able to do it again. Okay, so to the right. Yeah, this treasure chest has a boomerang in it, but I'm not gonna get it because I don't need it. Take that, boomerangs. Yeah, the very first version of this game I played was for the Game Boy Advance. See, A Link to the Past was my game. My brother played Ocarina of Time a lot more, but this was my game. I played the crap out of it. Oh, I could use these bottles. This and the Metroid series are like my favorite games of all time. Ow. Okay, don't die. There we go. Woo! Thank you, Yetse. I had a feeling you were getting close. Yetse, listen carefully. The wizard is magically controlling all of the soldiers in the castle. I fear the worst for my father. The wizard is an inhumane fiend with strong magical powers. Do you understand? Yes. All right. Let's get out of here before the wizard notices. I know a secret path, but first, we have to go to the first floor. Let's go. All right. 5 rupees. I should get a heart. Yeah. The Super Nintendo controller is surprisingly comfortable. It's like... I don't know what to compare it to. Well, I guess I could really only compare it to the original controller. I don't know, you have the R and the L, and you have the X and the R. Ooh, map. So X opens up the map, and L is the items. Use your sword. Start and select. Yeah, so they added the L and R and the X and the Y buttons. So it's interesting they would add that for the Super Nintendo, but then for the Game Boy Advance, which was supposed to be 16-bit, they got rid of the X and the Y buttons, but kept the L and R buttons. So for ports of Super Nintendo games, they had to remap some of the buttons. Like L, I believe, opens up the map now, and R is used to pick up items. I think in this game, R is used to run. I might be incorrect. This music is so cool. And going back to like my 1 hour theory, you know, like how far in the game can you get in 1 hour? This is just like, this set the rule for the 1 hour theory. Because just think, we're only a couple minutes in, and look how much I've done so far. I've rescued the princess. I got my sword. You know, it's not like other games, or even other Zelda games, where you just go through a bunch of tutorials, and they're not literally tutorials, but I call it the intro segment. Skyward Sword had a very, very, very long intro segment. And it's kind of one of the reasons why I don't play it that often. Because it's just harder to get into. Like maybe for the first time because it's all brand new and you're like, oh, this is new, this is interesting, but I don't really care. I skip over dialogue boxes. I don't do that. I mean, I skip over dialogue boxes. I don't care about dialogue. The L and R are really sensitive. Because, like, I don't know, I feel like if you can't convey it through gameplay, then what's the point? Like, this is the game, I'm playing the game. And if I don't know where I'm going just from playing it, then I don't know. Woo! I love how the B and the A buttons are convex, and the X and the Y buttons are concave. That feels nice. And why did we miss out on this console growing up? We had the original Nintendo. But I feel like that was my dad and my uncle's game system. You know, like they played Zelda. Like after high school, the original Zelda. And then we just skipped the Super Nintendo and went straight to the NES. No, the 64. So it's kind of a shame that I missed this growing up because the Super Nintendo has some of the greatest games of all time on there. Alright, this is just a whole bunch of exposition dump. I don't care, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. I'm just mashing the buttons right now. Do you understand? Yes. And I don't care about that heart piece because I am not doing the heart piece this time. This is hard mode. And because this is hard mode, I don't even need to go to the village. I can just go straight to Temple 1.